All right, so thank you again for joining, and let's discuss about the Azure architecture and services. Can you see my screen? All right, so we will go through details about. I think we have some of the session we have already discussed about that. So let's discuss today. We will discuss till Azure compute part and how it works. So, as you know, the core Azure architecture we are going to discuss mostly now. We already discussed about the fundamental of clouds and what is the cloud and all. So, generally, if you look at the core Azure architecture and services, it's a physical and organizational structure, compute network and storage, power plants for all the Azure solutions. How they did the physical data center, you know, building in the across the regions or other across the countries. So as per the Azure, let's understand the regions. What is the regions as per the Microsoft definition? So what they say, a region is a set of data centers deployed within a latency defined perimeters and connected through a dedicated regional low latency network. As you say, there is a data center built. Data centers is built and is connected through the backbone with some parameters, and then it's connected with a very strong network thing. So this is the region. So as we understand, we have discussed, a region is nothing but is a physical data center present, right? So in Azure region, it's a simple see the geographical distributed groups of data center. So every data center, every regions, every location they have, built and defined what belongs to where. Okay. So we will talk about the AG also, but what we can see regions, when we see the regions of data center, there is definitely more than one data center, two or more data centers, not too far from each other, connected with the high speed connection. Okay, the backbone generally they use optical fiber cables and other new technologies. So they are connected, and in the region is very closed. Same regions only have a single data center. More on this later. Okay, so generally they keep building the data center, depends on the workloads and how much customers are trying to use the resource. Based on that they keep increasing the capacity. Okay, multiple regions strategically located worldwide, definitely we have discussed about that, and this is the physical, you know as the global distribution. If you understand the graphical way, you can see how it is been, you know let me, yeah, so let's become bigger. Yeah, so you see how it is been, you know uh, spread out across the world. Okay, so wherever you see, there are available availability zones in the dot, in the blue dot area, means there is a availability zone available. Some of the data center you see there is no availability zone available, maybe they are building it. Okay, sorry, building it, just trying to. So this is the global representation of data center, and they keep building spread across the world. You can see also in the dot dot, this is called the announced region with the availability zones. They are announcing that they are in the process of creating the availability zone in that particular regions. Okay, now when you see the connectivity, as you see, once they build the connectivity, the each and every data center across the globe, they are connected each other, you see here. Okay, all of them are connected. All of them are connected, they have a connectivity. Okay, some of the, it may not be connected due to the government and local country policies, but mostly they are all interconnected. right? Private global fiber network they have, and how they have, and this is the data center, and this is the edge. Okay. Now let's talk about the region. Now we understand the regions, and in the regions, for example, I have taken the West US example. In your region, multiple nearby centers are there. If you look at to the West region also, there are a lot of data centers they have. Okay. But in the West region, it mentioned here, and you say blue, and there is inside the symbol in the white symbol. This means there is a absolutely, absolutely. So there is a availability zone, and you see there are three availability zones here. You see isolated. We will discuss very detail about the availability zone, how it's been there. But within the data center, you see in the West US three regions, there are three availability zone. We call the edge. Okay, very clear, right? And it's a separate three data center in this. This indicate the regions, and you have a three data center. Okay. Now, how you choose the regions? Generally, when you are building the you know cloud data center on the Azure, then there are some parameters where based on the parameters you can choose your regions. Definitely you are going to choose the region, the nearest region where is your business or your employee is located, where your office is located in the same region. So these are the parameters when you build the data center on the Azure. Choose the data center in the Azure. Choose a region closest to your users to minimize the latency. Obviously, right? This is the one parameter. Like you are sitting onto the US, then definitely nearest data center which one you have, because in US there are a lot of data center. Okay, so what would be the nearest? You select it. Features. Some features aren't in all the regions. If you need a specific features, some regions might be unavailable. So as we discussed, there are data center, but it's not replicated all the places due to the so many constraints. Maybe they don't have a resource power, they don't have a cooling power, they don't have that much resource on that. Okay, so like for very high compute or very high VMs, it is some of the locations is not available. Not only high VMs configuration, storage, RAM. So it is not available. Some of the this one due to the many reasons. Okay, they have not expanded so much. So if you are looking for the particular, then you have to look what is suitable for your business. Based on that, you can select the regions. Price wise, every region the price is different. Okay, all the regions, all the data center across the globe, price is not a same. Okay, so price vary from the region to region. So these are the three parameters mostly you need to look at when you are choosing the regions, right? Very clear. Location nearest to minimize the latency. Features, what features you are looking, what is suitable for your business. Okay, you have to first look at. If not, then move to the other regions, and then you also see the price you compare. Suppose if you have a employee in the US, central US, and you see the very high price, and if you have also most of the employee, 90% employee in the India, and you want to keep the data in the different location India also, and it's a 30% cheaper than US, then you can think about that, right? To selecting the region to the India location, because most of the employee you have office or employee in the India region. So it's not necessary to only select the US region. Again, condition applied. What kind of data, what kind of activities, whether your company policy is applying, allowing you to keep the data. Like China, what is the China most strong, government policy? Any project if you are doing over there, you have to keep the data to the China region. You cannot move the data to other regions. That is applicable for the all the cloud provider in China, Germany. We will also talk about the defense, how the defense sector in the US and other countries is deploy the cloud. But as of now, you understand this, right? How to choose the region, main factor location. closest location to minimize the latency. They will ask you very frequently the questions. Okay. Features wise, what you are looking, you have to browse it and see that whether it is available or not, and then price. You can also take the help from the Azure when you are Azure partner or Azure directly from the Microsoft when you are building, and if you have a doubt, they are always ready to help. And almost everybody having a Azure services to support you round the clock. So this is the main three factors while choosing the data center or region. What is the regions? Let's talk about the pairs, region pairs now. As you know, there's a clear pairs, two closely linked regions for redundancy. It's called the pairing. Pairing means exactly same. Like for example, each region is paired. You see East US to West US, West US to West Central US. So pairing means same set of information or resources are available. Like see, each region is paired, or there is a, when the pairing will happen to the data center to data center, there is a some miles is a distance is a limit. Okay, it should not be more than 300 miles. Should be closed. Okay, outage failover, definitely there would be if the primary region has an outage, you can fail over to the secondary region. So generally when you are replicating it, making a duplicate, mostly the disaster recovery you are trying to do that, or failover plan, or some activities is happening entire data center, everything you want to move to the nearest regions, and once everything is restored, you can keep it back. So plan update, yeah, as I said, that's called the plan update. Any updates which you are doing in one of the peer regions. Replication, some services use pair region for the replication. There are also some of the case study when you want to do the replications of the activities. Okay, so in that situation you can also think about the uh, pair regions. Okay, what is the sovereign region? There is a new concept is called the sovereign regions. They have recently introduced this. So isolated regions ensuring government compliance within specific jurisdictions. Jurisdictions. So what is that? What do you mean by that?
Global law. So what they mean by that is each, what, let's just say country has their own set of rules. So those rules need to be applied.
Absolutely. So in this scenario, mostly the government policy will have to follow. It's
Yeah,
kind of not part of Azure public cloud. It's a approval required to join in these regions. If you go for the sovereign regions, you have to have a proper approval. Okay, but also
yeah,
not all the services are available. So you can say that's a dedicated, redefined data center built for the as per the government rules for the government. For example, for the Azure for US government is built. For the Azure China, for Germany also was built. But due to constant lot of things happen, and then finally that it's called the again disassembled, and it's available now for the public, uh, for the publicly is available that data center, but mostly in the US government or China government, they have a dedicated sovereigns to use the cloud, as the condition is approval is required to join. Not all the services are available, very dedicated services what they
yeah.
want. Okay, so all right, now is your regions. In the sovereign regions, let's see what is that meets higher compliance requirement as a lot of security is being deployed. Okay, a cloud for the mission across data classifications. So mostly what they have done that they have deployed a lot of security, set of security tools and secure set of security technology where only the uh, government related services or activities being used. So mostly the secret, you can say the Azure government top secret technology and dedicated data center, I would say it's being defined. Okay, so these are the technology being used. Okay, now who is eligible to use the sovereign regions? So you were your US government entity or solution provider, federal, state, local or tribal governments contractor. So completely aligned with the government services, government related services. In the US, it's called the federal, state level, local, who is connected with the government, or is a government contractor who is doing the government, projects. They are eligible to use this Azure sovereign regions. Similarly, they have another sovereign regions is called the China regions. Again, they have also same set of rules, own business. Who is doing the business? You should be doing the business in the China to use these regions. No, nobody else can use. So everything is a redefined data center only dedicated to the China customers, China business, and as per the law, everything you have to keep, all the data you have to keep to the China only. All right, that's the new concept. I think that really this related also the question will come into the exam. Azure region summary, what we have discussed. So this is the three concepts we have discussed, right? Regions, geographically distributed physical infrastructure, multiple nearby data center in each region. Regions pairs, how you can do the pairs for the replication, disaster recovery, redundancy level, and sovereign regions. As mostly as of now, we can see the isolated private regions for the US or China is there. If you are joining, you have a certain condition, meet the parameters, meet the compliance, and you join. This is the what is the summary about the Azure regions. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, what are the availability zones? Now, let's talk about little, as you already know, that separated in the data center, isolated within the data center, you have a availability zones. Physically separated data center within an Azure region in one data center. Physically, again, they have separated independently running. We can see physical location independently running and is created the zone. So when you say independently, everything, each ability zone is a physical location within a region. In the same region, they have a separate physical location present, and you see the one data center, one plus data center independently, even though the physically networking, cooling, high availability, everything is done independently, and then created the zone minimum of the three zones not available in all the regions. Yeah, more than one zones is available. So the concept, they have more than one zones.
Yeah.
Okay, now as we have seen the previous, the virtual visual representation, you see here how it is. So you have a regions, Azure regions, you have a zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. It is all interconnected with the, all is all interconnected with the backend
Okay.
backbone technology, fiber optics or other, which is also called the 2ms latency round trip between zones, few miles, within the few miles, not far distance. Okay, and
Yeah.
that's why when you create the one VM overhead zone 1 and you select, you need a different zone, automatically it will be available by default. If you select that region, you select the zone, and whatever the zones is there, it will be replicated the data for your resources. Now availability zones. Note all the regions have availability zones. At least one zones enable region per country with Azure presence. As I said, it's not mandatory due to the physical, due to the locations and all. Every regions doesn't have a three availability zones. It depends. that we can see when you are building the VMs. Okay, so you see here you have, so ability zones. I think this we have seen that. Regional abilities. Okay, not all the regions have ability zones. At least one zones enable regions per country with Azure presence. More zone availability becoming available. So what they will do? They will build the data center. They will build the one or two ability zones, and also they will try to extend if there are more number of users. Okay, using that location, and they will build. So they are keep modifying the data center and keep building, adding the availability zones, nothing but adding the data center and getting interconnected. Okay, why using the availability zones? What is the use for the availability zones? So as you know that, right? So it's very good for the redundancy within the regions. Replication replicated across the multiple zones. As soon as you build, if one zone goes down, service is still operational. So if you build into the particular regions, and in that region there are three availability zones, if one zone is fail, another zones will automatically take care the redundant, and there is no downtime. Okay, you have always service up. All right, so that's the main function of the availability zone. Using the availability zones, how you will do that? So we will see that. So you once you selected the regions, and then you have a availability zones, it will show you here drop down box, and then you select it. So how many is there, and it will give you the option to select. Okay, zone redundant service automatically replicate across the zone. So that is not a manual. As soon as you select, automatically it will happen, replicate the entire VMs including your storage. You don't have to do the manual. This is not a manual work. As you see the redundancy, there are different level of redundancy, uh, where you can select that and you can use that features. When be aware of that, if you are selecting the or duplicating the service across the zones, then there is also additional cost. See, in the cloud, nothing is free. That's one thing you have to keep in the mind. Okay, and whatever the extra features or whatever the features which you are trying to, utilize, there is a cost involved for sure. Okay, let's see the. I think we have seen the data center, but let's see the how the data center looks. Okay, so when you see, this is the link where you can see the data center. Hold on. So we will try to go here and explore this location. So this is the Microsoft data center URL. Later you can see that. I think we have seen this one, explore the globe. If you click here, it will show you the Azure global infrastructure data center, how it is been there. Okay, and you have see 140 countries, more regions there keep coming, and you see how it is there. So you can do the touring. Okay, and you can see that. So it is you can virtually tour the data center. You can see that. Okay, I will share you the link where you can go to the virtually, and you can share that how they have built the security, secure, reliable, sustainable cloud, and see, explore the building block on Azure, explore the globe. So if you go to the building block, you can see here how it is. See,
Yeah.
once we open 3D tour, you can do. You can take the 3D tour, but it's eating a lot of internet speed. So you can do the. It takes long time. Okay, sometimes it will take, but it will show you how they have built. See, it is not. See here how it is. Just okay. So probably what you can do that you can later you can explore this one. See, you can go to the lobby. You can see. Let's say for example, next going to the lobby. You see here how they have. So it's a complete data center tour is available live. You can go and see that. But there is also okay explore lobby. But there is also in the YouTube also there are some videos which you can see that. You see how they have built the lobbies. You see you can use this is how it is. Okay, if you want to enter, what are the how you can enter the operation rooms? How you enter the operation room? Look at here. So only is explore the operations room now. Yeah. Just click. See, this is how the operation rooms is being defined, and you can see here.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is absolutely the state of the art infrastructure operations rooms. How is being. You can wherever you want to go, you can see, and there is a some even though there is a can you see the sound?
The Microsoft Cloud runs in data centers which must be operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year, every year. This requires continuous monitoring of the data center's critical infrastructure, including
Problem is it's using
power,
very high speed.
cooling, network, cybersecurity, and more. It's all overseen by a Facility Operations Center. The Facility Operations Center checks hundreds of thousands of data points per day, each measuring the data center's operational metrics. Highly trained technicians inspect automated trends, resolving any issues as they arise. And beyond the data centers themselves, Azure AI uses machine learning to review those same data points. AI Ops is moving from reactive to
So it's being deployed
predictive monitoring, so it can better prevent future issues. We also have teams of software engineers around the globe always monitoring our services, and thousands of cybersecurity experts analyzing trillions of threat signals daily. It's important to have constant availability and resiliency for our global infrastructure and cloud services. We continue to invest in.
Okay, so and they continue to invest. You can probably I have shared you the documents. You can probably go to the link and you can explore. Okay, it's putting the and you can go for the again if you want to go to the mechanical area, you can go to the it will take you the step by step. Okay, spend some time to understand how they have built. Okay, so even those let's see the server room. So if you go to the server room, how looks the servers? So see the server rooms again. They have some videos also you can play, but using the high bandwidth. So explore the server room. Okay, so let's go to the server. See here how it's being built. Can you see that? And you can see how you can go. Arrow key is there wherever you enter the server center to reach the particular places. Okay. Okay. So this is the how you can explore later. I will share you the link. Okay. I will close this one.
No problem.
All right. Now let's talk about the resource organization. When you are building, as we have already discussed, that very isolated way. So this is the concept of the resource organization at a single glance. They have a resource available. As you know, the resource means all the compute resources, whatever the services are there. More than 200 services they are providing it. They have created logical resource groups. Under the resource group represent the resource, and then you have a subscription to manage. So how do you manage the subscription? Using the management groups. So there is a management group created, under that is subscription, and then under the subscription there is a resource group, and through the resource group you can manage the resource. There is a resource, under resource group you can combine the resource, whatever the resource is there once the resource group is created. You can also manage in the hierarchy way. If the administration subscription, multiple in management group, you can have a multiple subscription where you can manage it for the different project. We will see this one. Okay, so how it is been more in that. So resource in the resource in the first talk about the resource, then we'll go to resource group and subscription and management group. So what is the resource? Generally all the services, basic building blocks, all the services they kept, VMs, data, storage. Okay, assigned to the region. Every resource has a name. Most resources have a cost. Okay, so definitely most of the resource, some of the resources are free for the certain time to explore it, and then again it's a cost involved. Most of the resource have a cost. So these are the resource that you already know. Okay, let's go to the under resource group. What is the resource group? Grouping of the resource is called the resource group. Okay, all resources must be in the resource group. Whatever the resources are there in there should be definitely there should be the inside the group. Okay, group resource within the same life cycle access control needs, so definitely is required to access it. So we will talk about that more. Now resource organization, what is the fact? One resource, each resource can only exist in the single resource group. Okay, definitely it's required. And that what you can do, that you can move it, you can rename it, you can have a multiple region, the different locations you can have, you can interact it, you can control it. So these are the things you can do that with the resource groups. Now what is the subscription? The new word for subscription. Generally anything which you want to use, you have to take the subscription, right? So management, access and billing boundaries. Once you take the subscription, means you are everything is done from your company and you are ready to go to the buy the subscription. Then the actual meaning of the subscription management, you are going to manage the multiple accounts, access, billing, boundary. Using the subscription you can do that. All the resource you are going to manage, it belongs to the groups. Access control, user accounts, permission granted, what permission you want to give that, and how billing, payment method associated with the subscription, how you do the billing or payment. Okay, subscription. Azure account can have a multiple subscription, separate subscription for separate billing center, separate access control boundary. Okay, so you can have a multiple subscription and you can assign the permission, what they do. Let's say multiple teams you have, so you have a subscription where you can define it, the rules, so they can manage only billing counter. When you can have a billing, so everything can be done by this particular multiple subscription. So you have a account and you have a subscription 1 2 3 can have a multiple. So the management group, what is the management group? Centralized management for the multiple subscription, only optional component of the resource organization. Easily manage multiple subscriptions. So management, using the management group, you can manage the multiple subscription, okay, into the single span. Policy applied to management group, applied to all the child object. Okay, ideally for larger organization with the multiple subscription can contain child management group. Okay, so you have a management multiple, and I have compared with the Linux root file system. We'll see that, but generally using the manage group. Why you are using it? It's a centralized management for the multiple subscription. You have multiple subscription. You manage it using the management group. Resource organization. Okay, putting it all together here. You see here how it is there. So you understand the resource. You have a resource group, multiple resources grouping together. Okay, and then you have a subscription, and then you using the management group. Resource, everything you create in Azure. Resource group, you have combined group of the resource with same life cycle access control needed. Everything you put it there. Then you have a subscription. Okay, to manage this you have a subscription, high level billing and access control. What you are using is a billing boundaries, you can say. And how do you manage the subscription? Multiple subscription if you have, then using the management group. Optional centralized subscription management group. Clear? Okay, now see the hierarchy, how it is being. So from like that, I think you understood, right? To manage, apply the permission. Okay, from the downwards, organize hierarchy is this is the how is the parent-child relationship, you can see here, right? The best part is here from the Linux. You see this, you will understand clearly since you know the Linux, how everything is on the root. And if you have a another, this is the parent slash USR again for the USR, and there is the child. See, multiple is created. How you manage under USR? That there is a bin include live sbin. Here you see the var. But who is the master here? File system hierarchy in the root. Everything is under root, right? Yeah, this you understand clearly. We have discussed, right? Okay. Now resource hierarchy similar to the file system. So you put the similar to the file system. So who is the parents? Root is the parents here, and then you have a file system, and they have you have a folder, and then inside the folder also you have a resource. Correct? That is what is the Linux file system here. Correct? You have a master, inside you have a multiple directory, home directory. Inside also you have a subdirectory. Who it is there? Nothing but is a resource here. You can see that. It's the same concept here is built. Same example. Okay, now see here. Now let's take the example. So Azure AD tenant, Azure authentication active directory. So my owner, he is the owner of that, who is having a two subscription, owners, owners one, owners two, and is managed separately. So here this guy is managing the two, they having a two owners where they manage it. So you can create the multiple owners subscription, right? And this guy is having like that. You can have a multiple. Depends how you are creating the Azure AD tenant. This is one for the example. So he is the owner to manage these two guys, but this guy also is managing these two, right? And this guy is managing these two. That can be the multiple. Depends on the organization, how big organization is there. Inheritance, you see what happened here. There is another user, right? Another owner who is managing this. That is what we have seen. And managing all the resources. Another is here who is managing these resources. Correct? So there is a inheritance owners also in this tenant. So what will happen here? This guy also manage this, and again here is I'm under this. Maybe this guy can be different. Now see the RBAC rule. That's called the give contributor role to the resource group. You can also assign the what they want to use, and you can control it. Like how in the Linux you control the file system, right? Particular folders you want to give, that you can use the ACL access control list. Similarly, there is a here multiple RBAC rule is being defined. It's a contributor or admin, or it's only for the they can contribute the particular resources. You can restrict them not to use or what to use. You can do that. So mostly resource hierarchy, the big idea, the policy and permissions are applied. Parent to child concept, each child object can have exactly one parent object. Each parent can have a multiple child objects. Okay, so in this related to that, there is a these are the question. Let's go for the question. What is the correct order of Azure resource hierarchy from the highest to lowest level? That is called the management group, subscription, resource group, and resource. Right? Top is the management group, then subscription, resource group, and resource. Correct?
Yeah, management group.
What is the primary benefit of deploying the services across multiple availability zones?
Improve resilience.
Improve the resiliency. And there is a jump. Okay. Which of the following is not a characteristics of Azure availability zones?
Characteristic of Azure availability. Which one is that? So, is the which of the following
Note.
is not a characteristic of Azure availability zone? That would be
Okay, leave this one. Okay, let's see that. What is the primary purpose of Azure region?
provide the data center deploy within the latency defined perimeter.
To provide set of data center deployed within a latency defined perimeter. Right. How do you manage group enabler structure within large organization? By managing access
policy and compliance across multiple submissions.
Absolutely. What is the primary function of resource group in Azure? Resource group is a kind of container, right? You make the one box and then you can do it. Okay.
Container for related resources.
Right. What can be managed through the lifecycle management of Azure resource group? So Azure resource group, you can do the individual resource within the group. Correct?
Yeah.
Which statement accurately describes the structure of an Azure region? An Azure region consists of multiple data centers interconnected with a low latency network. That we already.
Yeah.
Same questions, I think. What is the primary purpose of Azure sovereign regions? That's the new. This is the questions. Definitely will come to the exam. To ensure data remains within a specific geographical boundaries. As this is sovereign, especially is mostly dedicated with the government sector cloud, and they provide the dedicated service to the government related activities or services.
Yeah.
Which of the following is essential aspect of the Azure subscription? Azure subscription mostly is considered for the billing container, for the billing purpose. Okay, so this is what we have discussed, and Azure compute concept. So this generally compute, when you say, as you know that you have associated with the disk, processor, memory, networking, and OS. So mostly you will have a, when you say Azure compute options, then mostly it refer to the IaaS, infrastructure as a service, where you have a virtual machine, and then you have, once you deploy the IaaS, then you have a PaaS platform as a service, what you want to use it. So then
the PaaS.
That is called the PaaS. Exactly, you understood? Yeah. So we have discussed.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's the host, right?
That's the host, right?
Yeah.
And you have a virtual machine, as you already know, on demand. You can customizable, scalable on demand services server. You can host it. Okay. As infrastructure as a services, we are not going to talk this one. But what you can use the. We will see in the demo maybe tomorrow. We will create the VMs and we'll see how to access. So we will focus mostly in the Windows and Linux operating system. Okay, but what is the VM component? Mostly the VM components you have. What would be that? CPU, memory, disk, networking related, OS you have already, and there will be the network control, firewall, boundaries. Okay, these are the things is involved. VMs in the networking is called the VNet in the Azure. Okay, it's called the virtual network, VM.
VM and networking.
Yeah.
VM is mostly deployed to a network.
Right. And here you have a IP, and there is another IP concept we will discuss about the public or private IP. That's the public IP is optional, but yeah, we will mostly talk about the public IP, how it's being allocated, and it's a chargeable. So this is the network boundaries in the Azure. So when you are creating the virtual machines, then definitely you are going to select what is your requirement based on your requirement. For example, I have given what is a different types, that's called the types of VMs. So when the types of VM means, it is referred to the RAM and GB. You can see GB or number of CPU, how many CPUs you want. So based on that you can select the standard, like I said,
You can select, you can select, okay.
B1, D1, D2, depends on that. How many GB? Let's say your requirement is 60.
Depending on your requirement, your specs.
Yeah, correct. So this is the screenshot I have given here. Suppose if you need a 16 GB, okay, image.
It is showing also even the price.
Even the price also it will show.
The subscription and the price. So correct. It shows you that too.
Correct. You're right. You understood correctly. Okay. So, and this is the VM types. VM size is defined in the different way, like your B1, D1, DPLS, DD, V4. So these are these kind of uh, sizes are available. Okay, and depends on your requirement, you can select. Okay, and then VM pricing. So different pricing for the different component, as you already know that's the basic funda. If you go for the higher, you have to pay higher. If you go for the lower resources, compute resources, you will have to pay the lower. Okay, and once you select the hardware, then if you are selecting the OS, then definitely OS, it's a license OS, or one you have to pay for the license, and another you have to pay for the public IP address. Even though public IP address is optional, once you are properly deploying the OS, but these two is a cost involved again with your OS. So in the OS, what you have? License. You have to take with the Windows or Red Hat. But what license? They are not going to directly charge. They will take care of the license. What you have to do? You have to do the pay as you go license charge. Same as a compute. Whatever you have selected, you are paying it. Similarly, they will attach with that pay as you go license charge, and you can use it. You don't have to pay separately for the license. Okay, in the public IP address, charge per hour, you see here. As soon as you deploy and use the public IP, it is a start chargeable for the hourly basis. Pricing model depends on the SKU. No charge when VM deallocated. When you deallocate the VMs, or then there is no charge for that. Charge regardless of the VM state. Okay, so charge delocated is not there, but if there is a huge storage is allocated to your VMs and you have shut down, but still it will be chargeable. Okay, so when you deallocate,
so that's the difference between the dynamic and the static IP address, public IP address.
Right. Public IP is very costly over there, and it's chargeable.
Because when it's dynamic, then they say it's no charges when VM deadlock.
Right. So you define your network and then you dedicate the IP. That is your local IP. Procs and cons. What is the procs? Control application compatibility, existing infrastructure. You can manage it. Lift and shift you can do for the VMs. Okay. Testing you and development extend quickly. You can do the testing. How it is suitable for your environment. These are all the proxies there. When you see the cons, more stuff to manage, lot of things to manage, higher cost. Okay, complexity in the scaling sometimes will happen. Okay, so here if you go to here and in this environment, PaaS services, you have this pros and cons. Now what we will do, that we will stop it here, and tomorrow probably we will log into the Azure portal and we'll create the VM and play with the you know, practical demo, how it is being worked. Is that okay for you?
That's good.
Okay, okay.